Welcome to Epic Elite Wizard King, level 25. I chose this quest because there's some conversation right now on the forums about what do druids do about liches. I think I've probably only done this quest on Epic Elite solo like once or twice. I know the Wiz King is really tough, and I haven't done it since the armor up changes. So I'm really curious to see how the MRR holds up against the Wizard King's castings. Also, I have the Wolf here, which I'm just going to park at the door because I'm curious to see if he has any DPS against the Wiz King. So the Wiz King's really tough for druids because he's immune to electricity, he's immune to cold, he has very high spell resistance, so Word of Balance is probably going to be useless. So you got a little bit of fire spells that you can use against him. So we're going to see what happens. Let's talk about gearing. I went ahead and got the Flawless Blue Dragon Plate Armor. I still have the Epic Red because I wanted to compare them for this video. And so with the blue, you can see that it has an armor bonus of 33. So that's 6 more armor. And I've got it slotted up with a resistance 7. And then we also have potency 80 on the blue. Very, very nice. Spell lore 6. So that's the only place I have cold spell lore right now. So it's a step down from my old ring. But this is just until cap. So for 25, 26, and 27, I would just have 6% ice lore. And then at 28, I have the 17% universal. Spell penetration 3 doesn't do anything because we got that on the epic torque. And then I don't have the set bonus. I don't have a blue helm. I'm not really interested in getting the set bonus for 15 universal spell power. It might be nice for a more traditional caster. And then on the red, we lost the combustion of fire lore. That was redundant with the cloak. There were some other nice little goodies on there like fire guard, an incineration guard, and eternal fire, but those were just sort of just little fringe benefits. Didn't really do a whole lot for the build. Now, the diamond of vitality 20, I did want to put into the green slot here and replace the jump plus 13 in the intricate field optics. But right now there's a bug after this U24 patch 1 where I can't use jeweler's toolkits. So hopefully it'll be fixed soon and I'll get the vitality augment in there. So I wanted to wear these because I don't always wear them at this level, but I wanted to show what a gearing option could be. This is a pretty nice set of goggles. Has 8 wisdom and true seeing and spot 20 and the 2 slots. So it can be made, it's really customizable. Pretty nice to have wisdom made on there too. So I moved the con op to bracers. I used to have it on the goggles, but I had some bracers already made up because I actually have a few different con op items for when I need to move things around, and these also have eldritch resistance on them. But it's a little bit different than the old one. This one has the proof against disease and blindness immunity instead of the wizardry 6. Because I already have spell points, your base like wizardry item elsewhere, and so that wouldn't have stacked with like the Topaz of Power 200. But it does have the elemental spell power and the greater elemental spell power, so it's an additional 150 spell points. Now we've got the Ring of Shadows. This is the Epic Elite version. This has got the Ghostly 10%, really awesome, and the Lesser Displacement 25% mischance due to concealment, super cool. Yellow slot with Globe of True Imperial Blood, so this is an endgame piece of gear for me. And the Halcyon boots too, this is also an endgame piece of gear for me. Got it slotted up with Insightful Constitution plus 2 and Feather Falling. The Halcyon Mine's a nice little perk at 15 temporary spell points. 5% chance to get that on being attacked. Dex 8, Striding 30 doesn't do anything for us because we got it on the quiver. And then Potency 80 also, that is redundant with the armor now. So the Halcyon boots are actually something I'm actually considering getting rid of for endgame. I'm more and more tempted to go with the Epic Boots of the Innocent. because it's got greater heroism there, and if I get the greater heroism on an item, I can ditch it in the human tree and take away most of those points and spend them over in the harbor tree, because there's some really cool things that can happen over there. Gauntlets of Immortality, got it slotted up with Diamond of Spellcraft plus 15, greater evocation focus, that's plus 2 to evocation DCs, devotion 120, healing lore 16%, beautiful item for a tune, for actually lots of different tunes. Even if you're not a healer, that devotion does affect, like your cocoon, for example. So I've actually seen some melees wear this. And with the 2 slots, it's highly customizable. Still got the Guardian's Ring, that's the same as previous videos. Still got the health plus 6 belt of electrical absorption 33%, and I remembered to put my large gem of power in there. Epic Cloak of Flames, that's the same. And the Planar Focus of Prowess had that last video. Got the artifact bonus to physical resistance rating because I have both pieces of that set, and this is upgraded. The Agony Knife in the Dark with the Ruby of Glaciation 114. This is fully upgraded to tier 4, so it's got all the goodies on there. The Epic Torque is the same as last video, and still got the Green Steel Conop, Mineral 2 plus 45 hit point helmet. And this is new, the Madstone Shield. Actually, I can't remember if I had that last video or not. I think that's new for this. It says absolute minimum level 24. I thought this was a level 25 item, so interesting. Alright, I've got it slotted up with Sapphire of Natural Armor 7. So that's just a couple more natural armor bonus, because I was already getting 5 from Spider Skin. And this has a considerably higher shield bonus than the Wall of Wood, the Epic Wall of Wood. And it's got DR16 when blocking. And this does include shield tower proficiency. Now I think the only penalty you get when you're not proficient in tower shields is just an attack bonus, which isn't important for this build anyways. But this has proficiency anyways. Okay. For the wolf, we've got the Flawless White Dragon Hide armor. Now I had that because that's the light version for the Evasion wolf. But I do switch to heavy armor by endgame. Got it slotted up with Resistance 6. And got the Antipode going on for the collar. Be real nice if they added some more slots for a wolf. Be nice to get the trinket in there and get the set bonus. And they're just... Wolf should be allowed to wear a few more pieces of gear. But that's another discussion. Got the PRR up to 199, the magic resistance rating up to 84. AC up to 166. Gonna start this in water elemental form to clear the first room, and then switch to fire once I start getting up into the towers. This is my first time playing this tune at this level with heavy armor, and right from level 20 I actually have had it since level I think 15 or 16 is when I picked up the heavy blue heroic. But I really, really love having the heavy armor for these levels. You know, I didn't used to have it until endgame before, but it's just been awesome. So we got a party starting here. Let's see what we can do about this. Okay, so just the standard routine cleared that whole party. Oops, didn't mean to throw a firewall there. So that was just that was your earthquake, your ice storm, sleet storm, and storm of vengeance. That did it all. I threw a few SLAs on a couple individual mobs whose hit points were a little bit higher, but that's a good time right there. Oh, and I threw the cold burst, energy burst cold, of course. And then I had the double shot in that last group of the sunburst, just like I did there. I also wanted to make note, I was just about 3K shy of 3.8 million when I started this. So since I don't normally do this for bravery bonus, at least not in epics, so I want to see, because I haven't done this yet, so I'm getting full bravery bonus for epic elite Whiz King. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Chamber of Raiyum. See, haven't done it yet. And you could do this up to level 26. It's 22 epic, so up to 4 levels higher than the base of the quest, and still get full bravery bonus. So now I'm going to just use this shrine before I go up into the tower. Lots of shrines in this quest. Notice that the wolf was called to me when I used the shrine, but he's buggered off. Where did he go? Is he still? And now he's at the start again. That is weird. Okay. What I don't have slotted anywhere easily accessible is, or not slotted, but on the hotbar is the Anger of the Noonday Sun. Now this is the really, really lame cousin to Mantle Icy Soul. Mantle Icy Soul used in water elemental form, and it adds just wonderful, tasty, and delicious debuffs to enemy mobs. But Anger of the Noonday Sun is so lame. The target of your fire spells suffer 2% fortification penalty and -5 to fire resistance. Whoopity-doo. I don't know what they were thinking. But maybe some of their notes from Mantle Icy Soul, like, were supposed to be in Anger of the Noonday Sun. But in any event, I do sometimes use it, like in a situation like this where I'm going to need every little bit that I can against the Whiz King. I will put that on myself when I fight him. See what these traps are like. So doing about 100 damage. No sweat. That's one of the traps were were never an issue for this build because of the high PRR. But with the heavy armor, the extra PRR, and PRR helps against physical traps, MRR against magic traps, leveling to 28, I mean, the traps are just a complete joke. Just a joke. I did, just a little while ago, I did Epic Elite Von 4, and in that trap where you pull the lever and you get like 5 bazillion spikes that come out, you know, when you do the one side, my bar barely even moved. I took like 50 damage total from getting hit from all those spikes. And I was running with a guildie who has an evasion pally, and you know, where we're having a discussion about how, you know, evasion pallies don't really make a lot of sense anymore. You know, it doesn't really make sense to build evasion into a build for sake of having evasion if it's a build that can wear heavy armor now, because for what you get for wearing heavy armor in terms of PRR and MRR is just priceless. And there's still a lot of people that aren't realizing how valuable that truly is. You know, the MRR is, you know, relatively new. Let's go ahead and pull this lever and see what happens. We'll just stand right here. And come on now. In these traps. See what happens. If I can pull the... Alright, come on. Alright, so that hit me pretty good. That was 4 traps there. That took about half my life. But as I you know, I've mentioned in my build post, just made some changes. You know, you definitely don't want to try to build evasion into a caster druid. Do not put evasion into it for sake of having evasion. If you want a couple levels of rogue because you want to be a trapper too, that's fine. But don't, you know, don't put evasion in there just to have evasion. You're better off going the heavy armor route. For a single feat, you get so much. Guess I might as well put the Anger of the Noonday Sun on now. It doesn't hurt. Don't use Fire Elemental Form. I don't use Fire Elemental Form in epic levels very often, but for some quests like this, or like, you know, the Ghosts of Perdition, or the Icy quests up in Stormhorns, whatever those are called, breaking the ranks and a break in the ice, I'll use Fire Form for those. See what kind of damage we're doing here with it. With the Body of the Sun, about 300 per tick. Last night I posted the trailer to this video series. I had fun making that. It took me about 2 hours to make it. Couldn't decide on the song. I was almost going to use Rise by Herb Alpert, but it was just a little too tame, a little too mellow, and then I decided to go with the Edge of 17 instrumental by Stevie Nicks. I really like that. Okay, so here we've got, if you didn't know, the seals from Chamber of Ramat and Chamber of Karush. The seals that you get, they're just sitting right there in a bag in front of the boss for those quests. You can use to bypass these djinns. So I just talked to him. Hold up the seal. Goodbye. Don't have to fight him. I get 8 grand XP. Now, that's for the 2 djinns. Now, there is a seal, if you didn't know, for the Ifrit in the basement of this quest. And if you've ever walked around down there, you may have seen a fire mephit flying around. If you follow him, he will lead you to where the chest is that holds the seal. It's an unguarded chest. It's just down there in the basement, where you can look around for it. It's not too scary down there. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I do not know if this is the Wiz King or not. Nope. Hefez the lion. But our Greater Creeping Cold combo is going to tear up the Ifrit, so I'm not worried about dealing with him. So I'm not going to bother with that seal. I'm going to call the wolf to me. I'm going to go ahead and buff him up. That way he's ready to go when we're ready to call him to the Wiz King. Just found out today that the band, one of my favorite bands, my favorite bar band that I feature a lot of their music in my videos, their bass player is leaving them. I've been with them since the start. I'm really bummed about that. They are working on a new album, so maybe about this summertime or so, I'll be featuring those new songs in my videos. Dave Rossi is their bass player's name. Seems like a really nice guy. I was able to talk to him a couple times at some of their shows. You can actually jump through these rooms where the door closes on you. You can switch to Winterwolf form and like jump through the room before it closes on you. And we'll use Winterwolf Snow Slide to go right over that I'm gonna wait for it to come off cooldown. So went to Winter Wolf, now back to Elemental, so I've lost my Elemental Toughness. So I'm going to recast that and put Anger of the Noonday Sun on. Now, Anger of the Noonday Sun will be part of my regular buff bar, and it's actually going to take the place of Elemental Toughness at endgame. And that's because the Elemental Toughness won't do anything when we have the Epic Shadow Dragon plate, so it's got 30-60 DR. Can still use the cold energy burst in fire elemental form. It won't be as effective, but still very much worth using. See what these traps have in store for us. No traps on that one. It's Rahab. Don't have the seal for him. I want to switch to a water alley form for this. Rahab is confused. There he goes. And here he is. Let's call the wolf. So word of balance, probably not going to hit. Oh, that did hit him. I didn't see how much damage though. Interesting. I didn't think that would hit him at all. And then he dispels, so that gets rid of the body of the sun. I believe that the Storm of Vengeance should work on him, but he moves around so much. Stand still and let me kill you. Okay, looks like we hit him for 633 with Word of Balance. I didn't think I was going to be able to break through his spell penetration. Now, I have no resources put into spell penetration, but I do have 1 Wizard Past Life and 3 Favored Souls, so that's a +5. But still, that's not very much. So DPS is a little bit slow, but we're getting through, and he's definitely not doing too much damage to us. There's a 743 hit with Word of Balance, so it's hit all 3 times that I've tried to cast it. That surprises me. Hit him again, but I did not see the damage. What's this? You know, I've never noticed. Maybe it's not hitting them on some of those times, because I was thinking that the symbol wouldn't show, the little like triple yin yang thingy wouldn't show over his head if it didn't hit. Like if he resisted it, but maybe it's showing up anyways. We'll have to watch the replay. Wolf's about to die. Keeps getting cursed. There we go. So it's a little slow going, but totally doable. Oh, I wanted to try some other things. Let's see what just the wolf is doing to him. I should have backed away a little bit sooner. Seriously? You guys are still here? I killed your boss. Go away. So I decided to splice in a second Wiz King fight because, as I mentioned in the first video, there was some discussion about how Druids should best handle the Wiz King on Epic Elite, because he is pretty tough. And one thing I didn't think to try was Sunbeam, and what came out of that conversation after I did that video is somebody said Sunbeam works really well, and that's actually a spell that I hadn't played around with a ton before. But since the video, it's been about a month since I think I did that video. I've used Sunbeam a lot on like the Abbot. I do a lot of Abbot raids and Marks of Death, and it works really well on him. So let's see how it does on Epic Elite Wiz King. Just going to show you though that I am on Epic Elite. And also, I made a couple equipment changes since then too. I've decided to just get rid of the web set I'm no longer using that while epic leveling, and I've decided to craft myself a level 24 Thunderforged scimitar so that I can have Glaciation 150 at level 24. Totally awesome. And then I've got that Ruby of Corrosion 114 in the orange slot. And I use that through level 27, then switch to the complete Thunderforged scimitar at level 28. And then, because I'm not using the set anymore, don't really need the planar focus for the +3 con. I have +2 con elsewhere, so that's good enough. So the Shamanic Fetish is nice. I've got the Master's Gift slotted in there, and it's got Radiance 114. So I wanted to point those out too. Also, I have 3 or 4 extra epic past lives since that video, so my hit points are a little bit higher. PRR is down a little bit because I'm not using that set bonus. The MRR is the same. Alright, let's see. Sunbeam and Sunburst don't have any... There's no spell resistance check, so he can't resist those, which is nice. So, hitting them for 800 it looked like there. About 800 again. Ooh, that was close. So the light spells are a pretty good option, a little bit faster DPS than on the video. On the first video, that is. Okay, I'm not going to pick up the phylactery now because I want to see how much XP I get for this. I'm going to send Snarl away. See what Epic Elite traps are like here, physical traps. Not very scary at all. So yeah, if you're asking what do you do about traps in your build, you don't have evasion. Like I said before, we laugh at them. That's what we do. We dance in them. We tell jokes in them. We run back and forth through them. Traps are no problem. That was ridiculous. also got 2 shrines, this one and the other one down below. Lots of shrines here. If you happen to not be familiar with this quest, it is a great one to add to your daily farming. You can knock this out on epic normal in 15 minutes or so, plus or minus depending on the Wiz Kings in a random location. So if you get him in the first tower, you can knock this out in like 5-10 minutes. But if he ends up in the third tower, it could take 20-25 minutes depending on how fast you are. But it's excellent XP. Shouldn't have done that yet. Should have. Well, it's okay. We got this fight. I was thinking I'm gonna use the Winter Wolf to snow slide over the gaps, the floors that can crumble away, but this is fine. Aww. A mummy champion. It's all this guy's fault that I fell. it's just the SLAs that I hit him with, besides the Storm of Vengeance and the Firewall and the Body of the Sun. When you unload all of your SLAs on a single target, it's pretty devastating for most mobs. Hello, Akvan. Goodbye, Akvan. You only get the treasure room down here if you do all 3 towers, or if you kill the boss. Oh, I can't open that yet because I didn't complete it. I will cut the run back out, so you have to watch me run back up. Alright, let's see what we get. Voice on. 107, so we started with a little under 3.8, ended up with 3.98, so about 180,000, almost 185,000 experience, and that's without a pot. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have any questions about the build, you can respond on the DDO forums. And if you happen to be on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell.